erase that right now, bitch.
Who gonna make me do it? You call me to tell me to meet with you.
Please get your bitch on a leash. Why the you going around with my son's picture? Like it's hee hee ha ha.
Cause it is hee hee ha ha.
Bitch, I'll pop you in your mouth.
Do it, bitch.
I will pop you in your
Do it. You ain't gonna do it.
Stop showing my goddamn son's picture around.
Show find out who the baby is.
Bitch, I will go with this motherfucker. Why would be a few
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Dumb asshole.
Bitch, I'm crazy.
The drama in Atlanta has reached a new peak, and it's personal this time. You believe you had seen everything? Rethink your thought, because when it comes to her child, Jasmine isn't playing around. Jasmine has mostly avoided becoming involved in the mayhem that drives love and hip-hop Atlanta. She is not the kind to seek attention, and she values her child's privacy above everything else. Jasmine has been cautious, keeping her business private and her child's face off the internet, in contrast to some cast members who reveal details of their lives in order to gain influence. However, if Karlie Redd is known for anything, it's stirring things up. Karlie consistently finds a way to get involved in the drama through shady business dealings, messy relationships, and social media pranks. And she went too far this time. Karlie was formally taken into custody on vandalism charges in November 2022. But that was only the beginning. What transpired later that evening was what really set everything off. Prior to her phone exploding, Jasmine was settling down and assumed it would be another quiet evening. She initially believed that people were exaggerating.
I showed y'all screenshots of her. You literally said the complete opposite of what you said in the screenshots. You know what I'm saying? So it may seem like she didn't say, that's why I said blended family is crazy. How do you sit here and talk about me, my 3 kids, one before she gets here, and then turn around and say I don't have no ill wills towards her, and then turn around and say beautiful baby, and then turn around and say he didn't know about the baby. How he didn't know about the baby and he moved me, my 2 kids, my mom down to Atlanta? How he didn't know about the baby? How he didn't think the baby was his? You think that man would have took care of me my whole motherfucking pregnancy if he didn't think that motherfucking baby was his? Be fucking for real. That's what I'm saying. At your old age, your grown age, you're fucking delusional and mentally fucking unstable. Something's wrong with you. And it's like we're never gonna be cool.
When she eventually looked, however, it was obvious her baby's photos were prominently displayed on Karlie Redd's Instagram for everyone to see. Suddenly, the gloves were removed. Jasmine sat there in shock, gazing at her phone. Her hands clenched around the gadget as though holding it tighter might somehow cause the pictures to vanish. How did this occur? More importantly, how could it have been done by someone she used to think of as family? She initially believed it might have been a dare. Karlie's account may have been compromised. Perhaps the photos were released by someone else. She had a terrible sense, though, that warned her otherwise. Even though Karlie was untidy, was she irresponsible enough to do this? It was simply nonsensical. Jasmine's thoughts whirled. Who might possibly have accessed these images? She had taken great care to ensure that her child's life remained hidden from the public. Family, close friends, and a few others were the only ones who had ever seen those pictures. She went back and reviewed all of her communications in an attempt to locate the leak. Then it occurred to me. A few weeks prior, Karlie had been at Jasmine's house, idly browsing through her phone as usual. At the time, Jasmine hadn't given it any thought.
Jasmine, what's up, boo? You and Karlie, you guys were on again with your friendship. Where are you guys today? Where do you stand?
I don't with that old tired ass bitch. That hoe is mad.
They had always trusted one another, laughed together, and discussed life. Now, though, that trust was now broken. What Karlie's motivation was the actual question. Did she want to gain influence? In an attempt to create drama for a new love and hip-hop Atlanta plot? Or was this just another thoughtless error made by someone who didn't consider the repercussions? Jasmine didn't care either way. Now it was important to make things right. And if Karlie believed Jasmine would overlook this, oh, she was about to do something else. The regular gathering of socialites, influencers, and the city's elite were enjoying their evening at the posh Atlanta eatery. Karlie was totally oblivious to the impending storm as she sipped her drink and laughed at a corner table. Public drama had never been Jasmine's thing. But tonight was different. This has nothing to do with reality TV antics or small-time gossip. It has to do with her child. Karlie had also gone too far. Heads began to turn as soon as Jasmine entered. Her enthusiasm chilled the atmosphere for some reason. People knew immediately that something was going to happen because the air was tense. She saw Karlie sitting with several paws, laughing as like she hadn't just betrayed someone's confidence in the most heinous way imaginable. Jasmine acted without hesitation. Her voice pierced the conversation like a knife as she strode directly to the table. There was silence throughout the whole diner. Karlie stopped. In a moment, her typical self-assured grin vanished. Unexpectedly, she looked up. For the first time in a long time, the self-styled drama queen was speechless. She laughed nervously, as though she could ignore this. Come on, Jasmine, girl. It wasn't that important. The photos were adorable. I'd assumed it wouldn't bother you. Jasmine spoke sharply but steadily as she leaned forward. Karlie didn't think. You showed no concern. Karlie waved her hand dismissively as she attempted to backpedal. I didn't do it to be messy or anything. People adore seeing lovely infants on the internet, and I just thought they were adorable. And there it was, the unvarnished truth. Karlie wasn't even making an effort to hide it. All she was doing was making excuses. Clout wasn't the issue here. This was not merely a thoughtless post. This was about trust, and Karlie had destroyed that trust in the most terrible way. Like a razor, Jasmine's voice sliced through the atmosphere. You are aware of my extreme privacy regarding my child. I don't put them online, you know.
You haven't been concerned about anything in years. This is my first time hearing from you.
So she wants to bring up all the negativity as opposed to taking control and being a real stepmother.
Right.
And you went ahead and did it anyhow, of all people. Karlie parted her lips, then shut them again. There was no actual defense for her. She could sense the pressure of the situation, the critical looks coming from all directions in the eatery. She had experienced messy situations in the past. She was a drama queen. However, this wasn't just another scandal involving hip-hop and love. It was a personal matter. Karlie finally dropped the defensive act and sighed. Look, I apologize, shall we? I didn't think. I ought to have questioned you first. Jasmine, however, wouldn't have it. She gave a head shake. Sorry is insufficient. For this reason, this was no ordinary scandal. It was war. The restaurant was oppressively tense. Jasmine and Karlie were the center of attention. Everything had ceased, including the music, the clinking of glasses, and the laughter. The whole place seemed to be holding its breath, anticipating what would come next. Karlie, who normally makes a rapid retort, was having trouble finding the proper words. Being fearless, unconcerned, and unrepentant had been the cornerstones of her entire brand. However, this was not like the others. Drama wasn't what Jasmine was looking for. A plot was not what she was searching for. This has nothing to do with amusement. It has to do with her child. Karlie shifted in her chair uneasily. Look, I wasn't malicious. I just had the thought. Jasmine interrupted. What did you just think, Karlie? That my child was happy? That I wouldn't give a damn? Karlie exhaled, her self-assurance faltering. All right, I understand. I made a mistake. I wasn't attempting to be messy, but Jasmine gave a head shake. You're not getting it. You never do. She turned and left after saying that. There were a few more seconds of silence in the diner before the murmuring began. Karlie sat there in shock while her pals looked at each other awkwardly. She had experienced messy situations in the past. However, she had a feeling that this one wouldn't go away so quickly. The news of what had just happened quickly spread on the internet. Reactions were already flooding blogs, Instagram, and Twitter before Karlie had even finished her expensive cocktail. Like wildfire, screenshots of Jasmine's altercation went viral. Videos from the restaurant came to light, showing Jasmine calling Karlie out in front of everyone in a very clear voice. The comment threads were ablaze. What about Karlie? She was caught in the midst of an unprepared digital storm. Karlie should have known better. Posting someone's child without their consent is wild, someone tweeted. Karlie loves mess, but she picked the wrong one this time, a third person wrote. Jasmine had every right to go off. That's her baby, not Karlie's content. Suddenly, Karlie's luck was in the balance. Supporters gathered around Jasmine, with fans, celebrities, and mothers all leaving encouraging comments in her comment area. On social media, the phrase, "you never mess with a mother protecting her child," became popular.
Look, it's part of the Frost cult right here. I know that's right.
Have you met Medicis? No.
I don't look familiar to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Well, that's interesting.
Whoa.
She worked at the same bar as me, and you have been to both of our bars before.
I came there for liquor, not girls. So I wouldn't recognize y'all.
I would say the same thing if I was you.
Okay. You ever had a conversation?
No, nothing besides like, can I get, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, no, I never said it was anything like that.
I wouldn't remember that though.
All I said was that you've been to my bar a couple times. You know, I work at a strip club.
Okay. The conversation we had is to ask for a drink, right?
Right.
That's it. I wouldn't remember that.
All I can do is speak my truth. That's what I've been doing.
All this rumors and stuff that what people saying is not true. This is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't know that girl. I just ordered a drink.
Even those who were not typically involved in drama had something to say. Jasmine, who usually stayed out of the spotlight, was suddenly receiving recognition for her tenacity. This wasn't about reality TV drama for once. Boundaries had to be respected. Defending children. Pointing up careless actions. Karlie, in the meantime, she was fully committed to minimizing the harm. She initially made an effort to act calm. To make matters worse, she wrote in an ambiguous Instagram story, "Y'all love making something out of nothing." She was hauled because she was contemptuous. "This isn't a storyline, girl. You went too far." "Own it," someone retorted. It wasn't long before Karlie realized she needed to change her strategy. Another person wrote, "Karlie really said nothing like she didn't just violate someone's trust." She went live on Instagram a few hours later. She had lost her self-assured demeanor. She appeared to be shaken. She began, "I just want to set the record straight. I didn't mean to offend Jasmine or her kid. I honestly believe she wouldn't mind. The photos were previously circulated among pals after all. I didn't submit them to gain influence or to cause trouble. I simply found them adorable. However, I now realize that I ought to have inquired first, and I apologize for that. The harm had already been done. Jasmine refused to let it go. She didn't have to say much. A live video was not necessary for her. Protecting my peace, protecting my child, no exceptions, was the only message she posted. No names are mentioned, not a word more. However, everyone was aware of the particular person she was referring about. The criticism of Karlie continued to grow. She had been cultivating her reputation as the drama queen of reality TV for years. For the first time, however, the drama was not on her side. Supporters took sides. All of a sudden, Karlie's typical antics ceased to be amusing. She went from being the public's favorite to their worst adversary. The blogs ran along with it. Karlie Redd crosses the line, violates Jasmine's trust. And when does reality TV go too far? Were among the headlines that appeared everywhere. After posting Jasmine's baby, Karlie received backlash. Jasmine versus Karlie, the feud that's shaking up love in hip-hop Atlanta. Even Jasmine's co-stars began to voice their opinions. "I just have one thing to say," one of them tweeted. "You have to respect the mother's boundaries." Karlie loves stirring the pot, but this time she got burned, said another commenter. And then the rumors began. Producers were reportedly becoming involved. Was Karlie going to lose her spot on the show? Would her career be impacted by this scandal? Even the network recognized she had gone too far. Jasmine, however, said nothing. Everything she needed to say had been said. She had stated her position clearly. Her baby wasn't interested in tails, likes, or clicks. And Karlie, or anyone else for that matter, was going to have to learn the hard way. Karlie attempted to appear unconcerned. She continued to post as if nothing had happened. However, behind the scenes, she was going downhill. Backlash poured into her direct messages. Does her brand sell? Retreating a little. Even those who typically stood up for her were having difficulty defending her actions. Because some lines simply weren't meant to be crossed, regardless of how much drama love and hip-hop thrived on. Even though Karlie Redd had been in sticky circumstances before, she had gone too far this time and couldn't get out of it. The response was only getting stronger, not less. New reactions appeared on social media every hour. Every second of her encounter with Jasmine was scrutinized by fans, followed by back-to-back pieces on blogs and even coverage by mainstream media. This was now a full-fledged scandal rather than just love and hip-hop drama. People were outraged, not just angry. This time, even people who usually enjoyed Karlie's untidy antics were finding it difficult to defend her. The internet was making sure she was aware that posting someone else's child without their consent was a transgression that struck in a different way. Karlie initially tried to dismiss it in the hopes that, like all the other scandals she had been involved in, it would go away. She has previously escaped accusations of infidelity, commercial fraud, and even legal issues. However, this is not like the others. The general people wasn't accepting it. Every deflection effort simply made matters worse. The internet went crazy when she said, "Y'all love making something out of nothing," in a mysterious Instagram story. Instead of accepting responsibility, she doubled down on her disrespectful behavior and was criticized for it. People were more irate the more she attempted to minimize the circumstances. Jasmine, however, had adopted an entirely different strategy these times. She never posted tirades. She refrained from arguing online. Karlie made feeble attempts to defend herself, but she didn't even reply. Rather, she shielded her child and kept her business private, as she had always done. And that quiet said a lot. She gained much more respect as a result. Jasmine was resolute, demonstrating that she wasn't the kind to get into small arguments, while Karlie was frantically trying to improve her image. For her, this had nothing to do with reality TV drama. She wasn't considering anything else. This was about her child. Karlie changed strategies after realizing that ignoring the criticism wasn't working. In an attempt to portray herself as the victim, she went live on Instagram while clearly agitated. With a trembling voice, she stated, "I never meant to disrespect Jasmine or her child. I honestly believe she wouldn't mind. Friends had already started sharing the photos. I just thought they were cute. I didn't upload them for clout or anything sloppy." She stopped and read the remarks that were pouring in. However, she wasn't satisfied with the answers. More criticism was directed at her rather than pity. "Karlie, that's not your call to make. So you're the victim now? You betrayed her confidence. Take ownership of it." It was harsh in the comment section, where justifications were not being accepted. Karlie attempted again after realizing that her live session had caused more harm than good, and this time she posted a formal apology. She apologized to Jasmine directly in a lengthy statement she issued, acknowledging her error. "I ought to have inquired beforehand. I realize now how mistaken I was. I really apologize for what I did and want to put things right." Even that, though, seemed flimsy to many. Already the harm was done. Some people thought she wasn't genuinely sorry, but rather that she was just apologizing because the criticism was harming her career. To be honest, it may have been correct. Karlie's situation was becoming worse behind the scenes. Producers of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta were beginning to feel the strain. Drama was what the show was all about, but this was more than just your average reality TV catastrophe. Producers were unable to ignore the mounting clamor from fans for Karlie to be held accountable. There were rumors that Karlie's position on the show might be in danger. Would it be necessary for her to rest? Would her screen time be reduced? Or would she suffer the worst possible fate, complete removal from the cast? According to industry sources, the makers were experiencing a crisis. On the one hand, drama meant ratings, and Karlie was one of the show's biggest drama magnets. However, this circumstance was alienating fans in a way that could be detrimental to the series as a whole. Over the years, Love and Hip Hop has witnessed many battles, betrayals, and scandals, but this one stood out. This has to do with limits, privacy, and a mother's right to defend her child. The showrunners were aware that they needed to exercise caution. Jasmine, meanwhile, kept her composure under pressure. She didn't take pride in the criticism Karlie was getting. She didn't publish any dubious content. She didn't have to. The assistance she was receiving was self-evident. Her comments were swamped with supportive messages from fans, celebrities, and other mothers. "Jasmine, we got your back. It is never debatable whether or not you should protect your child." Karlie tampered with the incorrect one. The two women's differences couldn't have been more apparent. Karlie was in a downward spiral and was doing everything she could to get back in control. Jasmine remained calm, attentive, and unfazed. And there was the final nail in Karlie's coffin. The greatest success in reality TV comes from learning when to let your actions speak for themselves, not from shouting the loudest. And Jasmine was a wonderful master of that lesson. Karlie's reputation suffered a significant setback by the conclusion of the week. Some of her devoted followers began to wonder if they could still support her. She appeared to be losing the confidence and vigor that came with being the queen of drama in Love and Hip Hop. Karlie Redd appeared to have lost control of her own story for the first time in a long time. This couldn't be ignored online, and Jasmine's fans made sure she suffered the repercussions of her behavior. By this time, the question was about the bigger picture, not just Karlie. The blurring of the boundaries between entertainment and reality is what makes reality TV so successful. At what point does the drama become excessive? Where does a decent plotline end and a real-life transgression begin? This wasn't your typical chaotic Love and Hip Hop scenario. It served as a warning. Privacy is still important. It's still important to respect boundaries. And nobody has the right to ignore it, no matter how much notoriety, fans, or reality TV deals they have. What do you think then? Was Karlie genuinely sorry, or was she merely attempting to minimize the harm? Should producers of Love and Hip Hop intervene and make her answerable? Above all, should the boundaries between reality TV personalities and their private lives be more stringent? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe, like, and share for more updates. I'll see you in the upcoming video as always.